Okay, so now that I've created my rectangle, no, I have my square and my triangle. Let me go ahead and name the layer. Double click where it says layer 3. We want to be as specific as possible when we're naming layers, so I'm going to go ahead and call it fast. You could be working on an Adobe Animate project and you could have like hundreds of layers. I've been there. So you want to be as specific as possible when you're naming layers. So now I want these two shapes to get over to the right side in, let's do 1.5 seconds. So 1.5 seconds, like roughly 1.5 seconds. So I want my square and my rectangle to get from left to right in 36 frames. So what I did was I went ahead and I extended my timeline by inserting a frame for each layer. And now you see that black dot, that's our keyframe. And then the long gray bar, that is a frame. Those are all frames containing the same artwork that's in your keyframe. If you ever want to change something, you add another keyframe. So we're about to do that next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the fast rectangle first. And every time I want to make a move, I am going to insert a keyframe. And you could the simplest way, and this is the universal way, is go up to the menu at the top, insert timeline keyframe. I'm going to go ahead and click on the onion skin up here. And for best results, hold down shift. So therefore, you're moving it in a straight line. It doesn't go all over the place. But I want to animate the way the classic animators do. If you look at these frames, each move is only going to last for 1 frame. I want each move to last for 2 frames. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this keyframe and just move it over. Now I'm going to go ahead and insert another keyframe, two frames down. Nope, I didn't mean to do that. Shift. And so I'm moving the triangle just really wide increments. Insert. So it'll actually take less drawings. Since they're far apart, it's going to take less drawings and less time to get to the right side. Insert timeline keyframe. Onion skin is on. And I'm going to cheat a little bit and leave it on the inside. And wow, look at that. Now that is a fast triangle. That is a fast triangle. Look at how quickly. Even though I had the timeline last, I extended the timeline to 36 frames. Our triangle only needed about like 15 frames to get across. So that is a speedy triangle. And the reason it's so fast is because the drawings are so far apart. So therefore, since the drawings are far apart, the increments are wider apart, the spaces are wider apart between the triangle, it's getting from left to right quicker. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and lock off that layer, and I'm going to concentrate on our square, our nice slow square. So I'm going to go ahead and put a new keyframe, 2 frames down, and I'm only going to move the square a little bit. Insert timeline keyframe. Insert timeline keyframe. You see how I'm only moving the square like slightly. The square is moving across in very small increments. Like, look at that. Insert timeline keyframe. Oops. And I'm just adding a keyframe every other frame. So each drawing is lasting, each move is lasting for 2 frames, just like the classic animators did when they animated on 2s. Animating on 2s means each drawing lasts for 2 frames, and it's actually like a little less work. So you think 24 frames a second, so that's 24 drawings a second, but a lot of times it was really just 12 drawings per second. All right, look at that. Insert timeline keyframe. Oh, oops. Insert timeline keyframe. And then if you look at the timeline at the top there, insert timeline keyframe. If you look at the timeline at the top, look at how many frames there are for the slow square. Because the drawings are so close together, it's taking the square a lot longer to get across. And our speedy triangle took about like 15 frames to get across. So let's see how many more frames we'll need. Okay, so the square, insert keyframe. We go ahead and move the onion skin handle so I only see the frame before. I ran out of frames. So I really would like to get my square all the way to the other side. So what to do? So I'm going to go ahead and just select all 3 rows and insert a frame. Give myself a cushion of about like 20 frames. And if you decide that, yeah, I'll give myself about a cushion of an extra second. And then the beauty of Adobe Animate is that it's really easy to delete frames and trim the timeline when you're done. Okay, so. Insert timeline. And so I really am just like moving it just a little bit. Insert timeline keyframe. Oops. Keyframe. This is also a great way of, if you want to animate something, but you don't have to draw every single frame over again. It looks really nice when you draw every frame, but for this exercise, it's pretty cool to demonstrate it using shapes. And you're still getting the principle of timing. All right. And voila, our square has reached the right side. So let's go back. Let's go ahead and play it back. Look at that. The triangle is a full 2 seconds ahead of the square. And that is because to get from point A to point B, the triangle used way less drawings and larger increments, less drawings and larger increments between each move. And the square used smaller increments between each move. Each move, like the square only moved a little bit. And as a result, it needed way more drawings to get from right to left. And as a result, or from left to right, I'm sorry. And as a result, the square moved a lot slower than the triangle. And that is a cool way to show how timing works. Here we can click this here, the square, this square in the mid right area above the stage. You could actually hide the edges, so you only see like your white frame, your white stage. But yeah, that is my tutorial on timing. And you also learn keyframes and layers as well, and also some stuff about shapes. Don't forget to save, and let me know if you have any questions.